You're not going to believe this, Mr. Cain. We are halfway done already. So let's
Get
keep
out.
going. I know. You're moving like a Herman Cain. Lori, you're on with Herman Cain here on the Tea Party Cyber Tour Teletown Hall. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Mr. Cain.
What's your name again? I'm sorry.
Hello, Mr. Cain.
Yes.
I have a question about your views on health care. I am currently a student online with Grand Canyon University, and I'm studying healthcare administration. I'm a non-traditional student, which means I'm old, but I am wanting to know, given the fact that given our high national debt and given constitutional constraints and the fact that our healthcare system really does need fixing, how do you feel about the constitutionality of Obamacare, and do you have a proposal for replacing Obamacare if you should become president?
Yes, I do. First, I believe that we should repeal Obamacare and replace it. We should repeal it because it is a disaster, it's not workable, and it's unfixable. Just look at the thousands of companies that have asked for waivers because they can't implement Obamacare with all of the requirements and all of the different bureaucracies that companies now have to answer to. It needs to be repealed. That's number one. Number two, here's what I would replace it with. I would replace it with what's called patient-centered reforms. For example, no mandate. Just like you are not required to buy a car, you shouldn't be required to buy health insurance. But we should make sure that the marketplace drives down the cost of health insurance as well as increase the access of health insurance for everybody. You do that by putting in what they call market reforms. Here's one example. Right now, under our current tax code, you have a situation where if an employer pays for your health insurance, then the employer can deduct it as a business expense. If you buy it personally, you cannot deduct it as a business expense. And so I believe that regardless of who pays for it, it should be deductible. This way, employers will provide more options for people to choose what best fits them. One of the reasons that we have a problem covering everybody is because of this whole one-size-fits-all. I believe in tort reform. One of the biggest things in tort reform that we need to include is loser pay. If we had more loser pay laws throughout this country, there would be less frivolous lawsuits. I have talked to many doctors who have said that their biggest expense is what they have to pay in liability insurance. And so one of the reasons for that are frivolous lawsuits. And if we had loser pay laws, it would reduce those because, unfortunately, too many doctors are practicing defensive medicine rather than practicing medicine. In addition to that, I believe that health insurance should be bought across state lines, and many other people agree with that. And then here's one of the biggest things that we can do is expand health savings accounts. Rather than what this administration has done, they have limited the use of health savings accounts. And what that does is it allows people who are healthier to buy catastrophic health insurance for catastrophic needs, but yet they can save money tax-free under the current tax code that we have and build up an emergency fund, and that would reduce their cost of insurance. Bottom line, I don't believe that government should try to control our health care. I believe that individuals should control their health care, and this is why we need to repeal Obamacare and pass some of these patient-centered, market-driven reforms.
If you're just joining us, welcome to the 2011 Tea Party Cyber Tour Teletown Hall and webcast with Herman Cain. My name is Rusty Humphreys. We want to thank the sponsor, theteaparty.net. If you want to participate, if you're on the conference call, press *3. If you'd like to ask a question on Twitter, use hashtag #TCyber, or you can call us directly at 404-367-9478, where we will go to Herman Stomping Grounds, Covington, Georgia, where Nancy is. Hello, Nancy. You're on with Herman Cain. Welcome.
Hi.
Hello, Nancy.
Thank you, Herman. I'm really excited about Saturday.
Great.
That is one thing I don't think I'm ever going to miss.
Thank you.
But the question I have is, under your plan, you were talking about the direct stimulus.
Yes.
Which is taking, I'm assuming that's the SSI tax coming out of our checks.
That's part of it.
That's part of it. Okay.
That's part of it. Let me explain my direct stimulus, if that's your question. Is that right?
Yes, go ahead.
I have an approach that says that we need to provide direct stimulus in order to boost this economy rather than more government spending. We know that $1 trillion that was spent did not work to stimulate this economy. Unemployment has gone back up to 9%. We got over 15 million people that are unemployed. We got nearly 5 million people that are underemployed. We have an additional 14 million people on food stamps. It didn't work. So let's do this in my 5-point plan. Number one, lower tax rates for corporations and individuals. Corporations should go from 35 to 25%. We're the only country on the planet that has not lowered its top corporate tax rates in 15 years. That doesn't make any sense. And we wonder why jobs are leaving this country. Secondly, we also should lower personal tax rates. Representative Paul Ryan and his team have that in that budget proposal that they have put together that's getting demagogued by the liberals. Number two, take the capital gains tax rate to zero. That's right, zero. We don't need to keep pussyfooting around on reducing taxes on capital gains so people will be willing to invest in new businesses, existing businesses, and create jobs. This is how we boost this economy. Number three, suspend taxes on repatriated profits. Suspend taxes on repatriated profits will allow nearly $1 trillion of money that multinational companies have generated to come back into this economy. Back in 2003, when that was done under President George Bush, nearly $350 billion came back into the economy. And now we've got, it's estimated conservatively, $1 trillion. The longest companies have to pay taxes on those profits again once they come home, they're not going to bring them home. So why not let them bring it home free so they can put it back into the economy? And then provide a real payroll tax holiday for workers and employers. You know that piddling 2 percentage points that the last Congress and the president benevolently awarded to people that most people didn't even feel? Let's suspend the whole 6.2% for a year for the employee as well as for the employer. Now, if you do that, that means that people keep the money directly. This is why I called it direct stimuli and not indirect stimuli. And then you put a bow around these four ideas and you make the rates permanent. One of the reasons that growth in this country has been suppressed has been simply because of all of the uncertainty about what the tax rates are going to be, the uncertainty about what new regulations that this administration is going to throw at us. We need to remove that veil of certainty such that this economy can grow the way it has the ability to grow. Now, that being said, stimulating this economy is not only an issue of economics, it is a national security issue, because as long as we are continuing to grow at an anemic 2.5%, we're going to be caught by China in 15 years or more because they are growing at a double-digit rate. And so it becomes a national security risk as well. We have the potential to grow a lot better than the 2.5 or the 2% rate that we are growing. We just simply need to put those measures in. Now, one of the things, Rusty, that some reporters always ask me is, that sounds like it's too difficult to do. How are you going to get it done? The way that I'm going to get it done.
How are you going to get it done?
That's right. And see, my response is, am I not supposed to do it just because it's going to be hard? No. Let's do what's right, even if it's hard. And the way that I'm going to get it done is through with the people that are on this call, the Tea Party movement, and all of the other folk out there, because it was former Senator Eric Dirksen who said, when they feel the heat, they will see the light. I will constantly have the American people understanding the what, the how, and the why of what I'm doing so they can be my cavalry, so to speak, in order to put heat on Congress in order for us to pass these things. That's how I'm going to get it done.
Herman Cain here on the Tea Party Cyber Tour Teletown Hall. Now, Mr. Cain, when you were doing talk radio, do you remember how many lines you had? It was like 5 or 10 lines, you remember?
Yes. I had about 8 telephone lines.
8 lines. Well, let me tell you, you've got 75 lines full right now.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, you're going crazy going nuts. By the way, there is a quick poll I want to let folks know you can participate in. What do you feel is the greatest issue facing America? If you're on the conference call, press 1 for rising prices, 2 for health care, 3 for unemployment, 4 federal government power over states, or 5 terrorism. What do you feel is the greatest issue facing America today? Herman, you got 75 lines going crazy. They want to talk to you. Let's go to Bill. Bill, actually, let me first go to Tommy in North Carolina, Raleigh. Tommy, you're on with Herman Cain. Hello.
Yes, I was interested in Mr. Cain's views, and it's an honor to speak with you on states' rights. I'm actively working right now with a candidate here to take back the governor's office, and
yes.
I believe it's going to need to be a 1-2 punch.
Tommy, I'm short of time here. What's your question?
States' rights. What is his view on more states' rights and less federal centralization?
Okay.
Well, Tommy, that's an easy one for me to answer because I believe in empowering the states, not restricting the states. So I'm a strong proponent of states' rights. The way we give the states more of their rights back is we end financial unfunded mandates. That's one of the biggest things that the federal government has used to try to take away states' rights. For example, in Medicaid, the federal government has certain requirements for people to qualify for Medicaid, but the federal government doesn't provide all of the funds. I think that the states should have more say-so with respect to what they do with illegal immigrants that are here in this country. That's the only way we're going to solve the problem with illegal immigration. And so my operative stance is we empower the states rather than restricting the states, and that means we've got to end unfunded mandates, financial mandates.
That's what you want to do.
That's what I want to do.
All right, let's go to Bill. Bill, you're on with Herman Cain. Hello. Bill, are you there?
Hello, Bill. Go ahead.
Hello?
All right, Bill's
Hello,
gone.
Bill, you on?
All right, he's gone. Let's go to Geraldine. Okay, we're having a little technical. Let me go to Patricia in Ohio. Hello, Patricia. You're on with Herman Cain. Welcome. Geraldine. Okay, Okay, people aren't paying attention. Let's go to Patty in California. Patty. Hello.
Hey, Rusty, it's tough being a radio talk show host, isn't it?
I know. If I can get through this, I might run for president. Go ahead.
So who do we have on?
Patty from California. Go ahead, Patty.
Okay.
Yes.
Hello, Patty.
You ready for me to ask my question?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. I never get away from the computer. My question is, for Mr. Cain, he already has my vote. My husband is unsure, and he wants to know his stance on education and what he plans to do to make it better.
What I plan to do to make education better is to get the federal government out of the business of trying to be in the business of education. I call it unbundling the education department, and that means that parents have got to be more involved in the education of their kids. They have got to be more involved from the bottom up because the unions and the administrators are strangling education in America. Secondly, with the programs that are coming out of the Department of Education with unfunded mandates, I think we should unbundle and unwind those programs. For example, the federal government in some of its programs will offer some dollars to help support the program, but they don't offer all of the dollars. And secondly, then they attach requirements that they want each individual state to use with respect to a certain curriculum for a certain grade for a certain subject. The federal government shouldn't be in that business. We get the federal government out of that business. That should be a decision that's made by the local school districts with the input of the parents in those local school districts. So I would defederalize education in America and encourage more bottoms-up educational development in this country.